Welcome to News 9 and you are watching On Point with me. Assassination attempt on former United States President Donald Trump sent shockwaves around the world. In India, it led to a political spat between BJP and Congress. Hours after former United States President Donald Trump was shot at in a rally in Pennsylvania, Bharatiya Janata Party leader accused LOP Rahul Gandhi of encouraging violence against Prime Minister Narendra Modi. BJP reacted to Rahul's post on social media condemning the attack on Donald Trump. This is what Rahul Gandhi tweeted. He basically said, "I am deeply concerned by the assassination attempt on former US President Donald Trump. Such act must be condemned in the strongest possible terms, wishing him a swift and complete recovery." So this is what Rahul Gandhi had to tweet. BJP IT cell head Amit Malviya charged Rahul Gandhi for encouraging violence against Prime Minister Modi and also hinted that Rahul Gandhi works in tandem with the left cabal in the world. So let's play out the tweet of Amit Malviya. "These are insincere words. Third time failed Rahul Gandhi has often encouraged and justified violence against Prime Minister Modi, who he has lost elections to several times now. How can India ever forget how Punjab police, then under the Congress, deliberately compromised Prime Minister's security when his convoy was left stranded on a flyover?" So this is what came from the IT cell head. If Trump wins another election, that our country will end, our democracy, our constitution will end, is the last election we'll ever have. This kind of wild rhetoric against Trump led to an assassination bid. The man responsible owes allegiance to George Soros funded Antifa, a left-wing, anti-fascist, anti-racist movement in the US. This language is eerily similar to third-time failed Rahul Gandhi's speeches in India. Whose script is he really reading? So this was the reaction which Rahul Gandhi got from Amit Malviya. Whose script is he reading? Now I'll play out the bite of BJP spokesperson Shehzad Poonawala, who's charged the Congress and Rahul Gandhi for inciting violence against Prime Minister Modi and BJP.
नरेंद्र मोदी जी के खिलाफ जो इन्होंने हिंसा को भड़काने का काम किया है, स्वयं राहुल गांधी ने लाठी डंडे मारेंगे। जब वाराणसी में उनके कॉन्वॉय पर चप्पल फेंका गया तो राहुल गांधी ने उसका जश्न मनाया। आपको याद होगा कि हिटलर की मौत मरेगी, कब्र खुदेगी मोदी की, कब्र में डाल देंगे, कुत्ते की मौत मरेगा, इस प्रकार की भाषा भी इस्तेमाल की गई है। ये सारी चीज़ें कांग्रेस के नेताओं ने की है। इसका मतलब साफ है कि जो यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स की स्क्रिप्ट है वो भारत में भी अपनाई जा रही है। एक नेता, एक पार्टी, उसके समर्थक जनता के खिलाफ इस प्रकार का माहौल बनाओ कि हिंसा टूट पड़े उनके खिलाफ। यही तो वो स्क्रिप्ट है। जगह अलग अलग है, स्क्रिप्ट वही है।
The Congress slammed Bharatiya Janata Party for its allegation that Rahul Gandhi encouraged violence against Prime Minister Narendra Modi, saying cheap politics should not be played on the issue of security of leaders. Congress leader Pawan Khera shared a post on X dismissing the BJP's charge as cheap politics. And he said in his tweet, "Cheap politics should not be played on the issue of security of leaders. The Congress party lost Mahatma Ji to right-wing terrorists. We lost 2 prime ministers at the hands of terrorists. We lost our entire Chhattisgarh leadership to left-wing terrorists under the watch of the BJP government. Prime Minister Modi and the entire BJP has been instigating people against the leadership of the Congress party by spreading vitriolic lies against Nehru Ji, Indira Ji and the entire family. He also mysteriously withdrew their SPG security." Now, this brings me to the question, one, is BJP right in accusing Rahul Gandhi and the Congress of encouraging violence against Prime Minister? Second, has the Bharatiya Janata Party espoused a worldwide left-wing conspiracy that encourages violence and has the same modus operandi and has linked the Congress to the same? Are they right in doing so? Has left liberal charge against Congress run its course? These are a couple of issues which we are going to debate. The Congress has come hard on this. I'm joined by Shantanu Gupta, author and political analyst, Advocate Nikhil Jain, political analyst, input editor of the News 9 Live Connected TV, Brijesh Pandey. Brijesh, let's set this debate. I mean to say the assassination bid which took place in Washington created a political storm in New Delhi. Why?
Well, I think, honestly speaking, I can't find a correlation between the two. But, if you go by the tweet which was put forth by Amit Malviya, it is very clear that basically what he's hinting at is that, that how George Soros, which is one of the, main funder of left-lib magazines and other media forums and all, was said to be the person behind the narrative which is being sold. And the BJP has been accusing Congress party of reading or taking aid on help from George Soros funded organization all. So I think that is the correlation which Amit Malviya might be trying to make, comparing what the Congress says about Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the assassination attempt which took place as former US President Donald J. Trump. Honestly speaking, I personally don't see any correlation between the two. Political parties say a lot of things during campaigning. They take pot shots at each other. But if the pot shots has to be construed as instigating violence against Prime Minister Narendra Modi, I think, we are taking it a touch too far.
Okay. Let me go across to Shantanu. Shantanu, is this correct that, to equate what's happening, the sort of politics with that is an operation in the United States of America and compare it within the Indian context? Because RSS itself does not define itself from the perspective of right-wing politics. I mean, sir, the RSS itself doesn't say that it's right-wing. It says that we represents the cultural Mukhyadhara of the Bharatiya Samaj. So, even the language is different which the BJP is using this time.
See, I'm saying the how you use the global left and right is a little different than how we use in India, I think, but that's a separate debate. But this is a typical, the way we understand the global left, liberal academia / media. I myself studied in UK, so I can understand the pulse. I think this is the typical tactics. Every left of the university, academia hate any conservative right-wing party. I'm using the word hate very consciously because I've seen this in my classrooms from Oxford to University of Sussex, right? And their way, if there is a good administrator with someone like Narendra Modi or maybe Trump, if they're not able to counter, they will try to personally vilify the person, right? And because the grammar is exactly the same, if you see the democratic grammar, you will see if Trump will come, democracy will go. If Trump will come, there's no election in the future. We hear the same terminology in India, right? So if you vilify the person to such a level that if there is attack happens, I think, oh my God, he was such a bad person to the country that his going away, his death, his attack on him is almost justified, right? I think that's the modus operandi. And when the shoe was hurled in Banaras on Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Rahul Gandhi should have condemned it. He is a politician. One shoe will come on him also one day or the other, right? Politicians, this is very common for politicians. But he was taking कि अब तो इनकी चौड़ी छाती को मैंने फाड़ दिया है, वो 56 इंच 36 इंच की हो गई है. He was almost कि अब तो इन पे जूते पड़ने लगे, right? That shoe may become a stone, the stone may become a bullet, right? So I think his terminology very matches that how you vilify a person. If you're not countering him politically, you start vilifying. So any action on him can be justified in future.
Okay, let me take this question to Nikhil. Nikhil, do you think that BJP is correct in charging Congress that the words which could incite violence were used, like danda?
Karthik, absolutely not. I 100% agree with Brijesh that to link what has happened with Donald Trump, the assassination attempt on him, with Rahul Gandhi, just I think shows Amit Malviya's absolute desperation, because we all know the BJP IT cell has been thoroughly failing in the past 1 year. And I think what he tried to do and what Shehzad has piggybacked on is to create an issue out of nothing. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous that an assassination attempt is made on a president of a foreign country, and you start taking jibes against the leader of opposition in your own country, saying that you criticize the prime minister. It is his job to criticize the prime minister. So far as these political jibes are concerned, कि जूता पड़ा तो देखो जनता आपको मान नहीं रही है, and this and that. I think every single political party, every single political leader continues to engage in all of this in India, has engaged in all of this, and to assume that that is a call for violence against the prime minister is nonsensical. And Amit Malviya has somehow also linked this entire thing with what happened with Prime Minister in Punjab, wherein a bunch of BJP workers had their flags and were close to the Prime Minister. And I never really could understand what were the allegations of security lapse that were made by the BJP at that point of time, because Prime Minister has been in similar situations, similar rallies many times before that and many times after that. So this is just an absolute ridiculous linking. And so far as these George Soros allegations are concerned, if indeed George Soros is somebody who is funding extreme left wingers, it is one thing to fund people who are of the left wing intelligentsia, and it's another thing to fund people who are going to try and assassinate a head of a state or a head of a government. If indeed George Soros is connected to such people, why is he not behind bars in the US or by any other country? Fact is, this is an entire boogie that the BJP tries to create and somehow link Rahul Gandhi with George Soros or American left wing. These American left wing has nothing to do with Indian left wing, other than, of course, the commonality in certain terms that they might use or certain viewpoints that they may have with regards to economic issues and so on and so forth. But this connection is absolutely ridiculous in my view.
Okay, so there is a second part to this. There's a second part to this conversation, and the second part of this conversation is it's very clear that the BJP and Congress will not have an accommodative relationship, Brijesh. So, will our politics in this country reduce to a function of numbers? Is that the bottom line now?
It looks like that only, Karthikeya. And I think, the kind of, the equation we have seen in the last 2 terms of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, there's no love lost between the BJP and the Congress party, especially between the Prime Minister and the and Gandhis. And this is how it is going to play out, because many feel that ever since this government has come to power, they have been unfairly targeted, people have been bundled out to jail and all. And BJP says that, that we are just letting the investigative agency do their job. But the glaring thing is that, it's very interesting that, when once you switch side to the BJP, you are not pursued with that vigorously as you are pursued when you are not on the side of the BJP. So, there is a lot of hostility which is there right from 2013 onwards, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi was elected or announced as the main candidate as far as the BJP is concerned. I think what has happened is, for the first time, the BJP, the Congress and the other other opposition parties are breathing some sort of political freedom, political space, and that is the reason why this assertion is coming out to the fore. And as the India Alliance is tasting more and more political success, what we saw in the by-elections which took place, the more assertive they are becoming. And this is the reason why, it looks hardly unlikely that the way the tweet barbs are taking place, again the Balak Buddhi versus Bail Buddhi, the kind of jibes which are being played in social media, I don't see any accommodative stance being taken. And if you also factor in one more thing, the kind of politics Prime Minister has his personality and all, I honestly don't think that he will adopt any kind of accommodative stance vis-a-vis Congress.
Shantanu, has our politics become a function of numbers now? It's very clear, it's very clear last 7 or 8 days with this Bail Buddhi, Balak Buddhi campaign which ran from both sides, there is no political accommodation taking place. So there is no there is no meeting now. It's very clear. If this is how the official handles behave, then there is no common ground.
See, I think we are completely confusing the debate and trying to trivialize it. See, Bail Buddhi, Balak Buddhi, those kind of jibes are keep coming, and they were in the past also. We were not like wary of them because there was not abundant on social media, right? Politicians taking jibes on each other is happening from time immemorial in every country in India including. We are talking about vilifying a person to the extent to justify attack on him, right? A shoe attack on Prime Minister of any country. It's not just a mark of disrespect. It's a serious security laugh, and someone who holds a leader of opposition kind of justifying it, taking pride in that, enjoying that is a serious concern. And I think Nikhil was saying, there is no connection in Indian left. Priyanka Chaturvedi, when Rishi Sunak lost, when in France right-wing parties gained, they said, the global right is losing. Then they're fine. When they're attaching global right of UK and France to India, then they're fine. But now when we're seeing the way the global left, the left liberal do the politics, using their George Soros of the world, Ford Foundation to media networks of the fund, they do typical democracy khatre mein hai, right? Environment khatre mein hai. Employee, your labor force is not treated well. They're typical 3-4 kinds of NGOs, right? They fund them and try to distress the country. And this is like their books and books are written and they're studied in academia. If someone doesn't know it, I think they should go and read it.
But there's also one interesting, disparity between the two attacks. One which was referred, when they said that what happened to the massive security lapse in Punjab. When Prime Minister famously made that remark, कि अपने CM से कहना मैं जिंदा बच के वापस जा रहा हूँ. And investigation was ordered by MHA. High-level inquiry took place. Action was taken against 7 IPS officers. SSP was held responsible for the lapse in security. But honestly speaking, I have not heard about any kind of inquiry that took place on that shoe which was thrown. It's an equally big security risk which took place, and I am yet to find out whether any action has been taken against either any of the senior UP police officials or any other person who was involved in it. I am yet to know of or get to know of. I'll stand corrected. No problem with that. That any investigation has been launched on that massive security attack, a security breach which happened in Uttar Pradesh when that shoe was thrown at the Prime Minister's cavalcade.
Nikhil, your comments?
First of all, just because Priyanka Chaturvedi or anybody from the Indian opposition is hailing the losing of right-wing leaders across the world doesn't mean there is necessarily a connection or correlation between that. Of course, we've seen this trend in the past 10 years that in most countries of the world, it is the right-wing parties or parties that lean towards the right winning, and now that trend is sort of reversing. So for anybody to point that out doesn't necessarily mean that, okay, the Indian Congress is somehow related to the Labour Party in the UK or the Democratic Party in the US. So I don't agree with the correlation that Shantanu is drawing from that. Secondly, again, agreed with British. Nothing happened out of that UP incident. That was a much more serious security lapse, because what happened in Punjab, there were people with BJP flags who were close to the Prime Minister. None of them attacked him. None of them abused him. There was no sort of a physical, direct physical threat that we could have seen. But here, a shoe was heard at the Prime Minister's convoy, and nothing happened just because that state happened to be happened to be governed by the BJP. And again, if indeed Punjab was such a big security lapse, and multiple officers were suspended at that point of time, has there been any report to that? Like, what was the security lapse? Who was responsible for it? We've seen that knee-jerk reaction ki acha kuch bhi galat hua, 4 afsaron ka tabadla kar do, suspend kar do. But did something consequential happen? Was it a security lapse as the BJP tried to make it, that meri jaan bach gayi, Prime Minister said? Was there a terrorist ploy to it? Was there any anti-state, anti-national actor involved? Nothing. So this is how the BJP, including the Prime Minister himself, is
why is BJP doing it? Okay,
the security of the Prime Minister of India.
Okay, let me ask this question pretty bluntly. Politics has a sense of motive. There is nothing called politics with charity. Why has BJP attacked Rahul Gandhi at this moment on this issue?
I really don't know. Like, they're finding anything to attack Rahul Gandhi and the Congress. Fact is that whatever narratives that they're trying to come up with, they are not working. Just a few days ago, they came up with Constitution Hatya Divas, and that did not fly. Every single thing that the BJP has been trying to fly with in the past few months, including throughout the Lok Sabha elections, those narratives are not working. Whether it was the Prime Minister's Mangal Sutra Chori, whether it was creating that boogie about Muslim reservations, whether it is the discussion on emergency, none of the narratives that they're trying to work with are working. Therefore, it's just desperate attempts by individual leaders, by the party itself, to try and get something to stick. कि Donald Trump पे assassination attempt हुआ तो चलो Rahul Gandhi को blame कर देते हैं. Really don't understand. Like, had there been an assassination attempt on any Indian leader, on a BJP leader, तब कुछ बोला होता, would have still made sense.
I only agree with one point of Shantanu, that the politics of vilification is common across parties in this country. The politics of vilification, and politics of vilification does lead to extreme actions more often than not.
But that is something that every party across the board does. Don't we remember Amit Shah saying कि इतनी जोर से voter ballot पे button दबाना कि current Shaheen Bagh तक जाए, गोली मारो dash को, this and that. The BJP has engaged in this violent language against political leaders, against the people of the country. Some people in the Congress have also engaged in such similar acts. But that's, again, to say that is going to lead to an assassination attempt against the Prime Minister, that's a little too far-fetched. If we are to assume that the security of the Indian Prime Minister with the SPG and all the convoys and all the security parameters is that weak, that is, I think, just not understanding how the Prime Minister.
Let me take this question. Let me take this because my first question, Shantanu spoke about his UK experience. Is this left liberal politics? Do you think that the strain has arrived in India? It's there in the Indian politics, or is something which is being manufactured politically?
I think, well, let me comment on the shoe thing. In the first statement, Nikhil said, oh, shoe thing is hardly anything. And now he agreed, no, that's a secret security violence. So I'm thinking, at least I'm able to convince Nikhil, I'm sure the viewer, that shoe hurling was a serious security breach, and Rahul Gandhi making fun of it, right? That is being pointed out, that he's he's making fun of security breach. Reason can be found out, right? You can say, oh, SPG was not good, police was not good, right? But again, security breach on Prime Minister, which Nikhil earlier not agreed during the show, right? So that I wanted to convey. Point number one. See, this is traveling from quite some time. The left liberal from academia, that what happens in JNU campus, what happens in Ashoka University campus, what happens in foreign campuses. Now it's far and wide traveling in Indian campuses and Indian academia also, and Indian in political discourse also. So I think that's very, very evident. And when, so you see, again, it's very easy to escape that when there is a right-wing thing, I will tweet it, I will create a trend. When there's a left-wing thing, I will try to escape, right? But I think viewers are smart enough to understand.
Brijesh, but there's an old saying, whenever there's a debate in context of right versus left, if the popular response is illiberal, then the liberal response often becomes undemocratic.
Well, Karthikeya, see, the point is that, the prime ministers of the day have been criticized and heavily criticized. It is not for the first time that is happening that a sitting prime minister is being criticized. I mean, you talk of JNU. I am also reminded of a famous iconic picture where Indira Gandhi is standing there and Sitaram Yechuri and others were there standing there along with her and presenting a charter of demand. She was listening. She was the one who imposed emergency. She was the one who accepted. She lost election later. She came back. She won. I'm just trying to say that prime ministers of the day have been criticized and criticized heavily. When has the Prime Minister not been criticized? But to say that, that criticism of a polity of a government or criticism of the current government or criticism of any policy of the government means that you are left liberal or you belong to extreme left and then you are funded by George Soros and therefore you are in cahoots with the conspiracy theorist of the world is too far-fetched. Are we to assume? And then are we to assume that any criticism of the political party, any criticism of Prime Minister should be made illegal in the country? What exactly are we trying to say? I mean, if there is police which says there's an investigation which is done saying that if I say anything about you which actually led to violence and police booking me is absolutely fine. But saying that, criticism or the left wing or the JNU or the bogey of JNU, I mean, if it is so bad, goddamn, shut it down. Who's stopping you? You are the government in power. 10 years in power, why don't you shut down JNU? Or arrest half of the JNU and throw them behind bars? Who's stopping you? But you will allow that left flip to function and then crib about it doesn't make any sense.
Are you saying it's a bogey?
Honestly, it's a bogey. Prime Minister is winning not because of any left lib or right lib, it's his personality. He is able to convince, rightly so, because at that point of time, Congress was at its nadir politically. They fumbled event after event. There were massive accusations of corruption. The personality of the problem shown through. If I am going to say that Prime Minister won, I have no sense, I have no qualms in accepting that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is one of the most popular political personality in the last 15 years. No problem with that. That's absolutely there. But to say that, any criticism of Prime Minister means that, somehow I'm being funded by George Soros is stretching it too far. I mean, I think, any criticism of Prime Minister, anybody should be just simply made plain illegal and be done away with. I think shut JNU for all I care, yaar. I mean, to use the bogey of JNU every single day or every single time, hardly...
Shantanu, please respond.
I think I'm again saying I think we're completely missing the debate and trying to deflect it very smartly. We are not talking about criticism of the government, right? We are finding ways like creating artificially fake video of Amit Shah, creating narratives like democracy khatre mein hai, creating narratives like if Narendra Modi will win, election will not happen. If shoe is hurled on Prime Minister, you are making fun of it, right? Criticizing the government, that's why we are smartly deflecting it.
But nobody is deflecting, Shantanu. I'm just saying that you use the word JNU.
I didn't.
And second thing is I'm saying that, you talked about and I immediately agreed. Throwing a shoe at the Prime Minister's, this thing is a massive security breach. I said it right at the word go. But has any investigation been done on it?
Making fun of it.
No, I mean, see, making fun of it, you have to ask Rahul Gandhi. But I'm saying, has any investigation been done on the lines that happened in Punjab?
You have commentary on everything. You have a commentary on Rahul Gandhi making fun of a security breach.
But that's Rahul Gandhi.
You have commentary on everything.
Have you transferred even a sub-inspector? Have you transferred even a sub-inspector in Uttar Pradesh?
One sub-inspector.
You have not. So, I mean, what happened to make a commentary?
You're hesitating to make a commentary on Rahul Gandhi's irresponsible behavior. Something that I'm little...
that is for the public at large to decide whether he is responsible or irresponsible. It's not for me to decide.
No.
Okay. You raised a point, I'm answering.
Let me ask a question to Nikhil. Okay. How do you... I'll come back to Nikhil. Tell me, how do you describe Congress party? Is it right of center? Is it center? or is it left of center?
By and large, I would say it is left of center. But again, I completely don't agree with this absolute siloization of a political party or a political leader. I may personally may have some views that may lean towards the right, some views that may lean towards the left, some views that may lean towards the center. And I think when we try to put every discussion or every scope of discussion in this broad silo, ki ye left wing hai, this is right wing, I think we are doing injustice to the individual thought of the person or the political party. And we also have to, a lot of times, embrace the, peculiarities of the society or the country where such politics is being practiced. Like in India, nobody would have a problem with the railways being run by the government, right? Whether you call the BJP right wing or the Congress left wing, both the parties will support that the railways should be by and large run and owned by the government. But you go to the US and you try to prop up this notion that let's have all the railways in the country be run by the government. They're going to call you a hard left winger. This is why these things differ. And also to correct on what Shantanu understood from what I was saying, I never said that the shoe throwing on the Prime Minister's convo was not a security lapse. What I said was that when Rahul Gandhi responds to it in a certain manner, that is just how Indian politics is. I'm not saying whether it was a lapse or not. It was a security lapse. Certainly it was. I'm not trying to take away from the severity of it. I'm simply saying that Rahul Gandhi responding to it in a manner that the Janata is not liking you, I think that's kosher. There should not be a problem with that. He's not the one telling people to throw shoes at the Prime Minister. And this is again not the first instance when a shoe has been thrown at the Prime Minister or some ink has been thrown at the Prime Minister or to the Chief Minister. Things like this have happened in the past. And lastly, because Shantanu keeps on wanting us to discuss about the vilification of an individual to the extent that an assassination attempt can happen over him, again, to say that democracy in this country is dwindling, that is a legitimate criticism by the opposition. You may agree or not agree with it. But when they are citing instances that you're putting people in jail without a trial, you have people of your own party ringing elections and this and that, then obviously they have the right to say that. And to say that any criticism of the government is a vilification of the Prime Minister or the Chief Minister, that is taking it too far. And again, then there is a third step involved to it. First, criticism, you made criticism into vilification. And last, you made vilification into somehow an incitement for violence. When has Rahul Gandhi ever said that I want the Prime Minister in bad health or dead or something like that? He's never said that. On the contrary, he's been continuing to say that mera matbhed hai, manbhed nahi. That I disagree with him on principles. I don't hate Narendra Modi. He hugged Narendra Modi in the parliament and the BJP took a jibe at him कि ये तो मजाक उड़ा रहे हैं, गलत कर रहे हैं, this and that. So Rahul Gandhi's politics in no way incites violence against him.
Okay, I think these two views are not going to reconcile. But yes, the Trump's assassination, the coverage. I spent the entire day in the newsroom that day, and I never realized that this will have an impact on the Indian politics. But there's a very old saying, again, I don't know whether political parties remember it. Vajpayee used to say, "Matbhed ho jaye chalta hai, par manbhed nahi hone chahiye sansad mein." And he put it very well in Hindi. So my larger point is that matbhed ho sakte hain, par manbhed nahi hona chahiye, because difference of opinion cannot be resolved. But जो मनभेद है वो पार्लियामेंट में देखने को मिलता है. आई थिंक पॉलिटिकल पार्टी शुड टेक अ क्यू फ्रॉम द सेंसिबल वर्ड ऑफ द लेट प्राइम मिनिस्टर अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी. मतभेद हो सकते पर मनभेद नहीं होना चाहिए. आई मीन से डिफरेंस ऑफ ओपिनियन शुड नॉट लीड टू सो मच ऑफ अदरिंग ऑफ ईच अदर दैट इट बिकम्स डिफिकल्ट फॉर वन टू sit in front of each other, talk and resolve the issue. Because what happened on Sunday was very, very surprising. The first volley was shot from BJP and Congress has hit back and slammed them in return.
Hey, careful, huh? My daddy got it from abroad. Hey, disaster! How will you pay for the loss now?